everybody? Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I hope y'all having a great day. I am excited today to bring back Let's Talk About It, Season 2, Episode 1. If everybody didn't realize how we did Let's Talk About It last time, we had massive of everybody from the Talk Society come in a Discord call, and we just kind of talked about random stuff that was talked about throughout the entire week. But we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to change it up and we are going to do it exclusive. So this month right now, our taco of the month is Papa Pumpkin Pie. I'm really excited because I have endured a tough task with this man at one time. We did a 24-hour stream and he was hanging on the brins, man, but he made it through. And it was really, really awesome to hang out with him that entire time. Anytime this man has anything going on, he has nothing but positivity. This man just roars with positivity. So we've got a bunch of questions in the Taco Society Discord under Talk Show. You guys had the whole month to ask whatever questions you want. Pick this man's brain. And we're here. It is that time, and you may be the next following guest on Let's Talk About It. So without further ado, let's bring our guest of honor, Mr. Papa Pumpkin himself.
She's here for you, Chad.
And there he is, this beautiful.
Hey,
glad that you're here, and I appreciate you coming on to the show.
oh, absolutely. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely.
Plus, I get to tell secrets. Secret time.
Here, as I did mention earlier, that we had a 24-hour charity stream. And why don't we just talk about that to start off with? The 24-hour charity stream.
No, I do not.
And
no, I said I let you.
Mentioned that he said he told some secrets that you go into a delusional era when you're going that far into it.
That's not the dude shooting at us.
Let's talk about the experience on that real quick. Pumpkin, what did you feel about that, man? How did you feel about doing a 24-hour stream?
I was really nervous to start it because I've never streamed that long before. The first 12 hours
over the top of the hill.
This is fun. But after the coffee drinks wore off,
and right in the back of the head, get out of my lobby.
More of a toll on me than I thought it would, because I literally, as soon as we were done, I crawled up the stairs, laid down, and just passed out. But it was for a good cause. We did it for a good cause, so it was worth it, I think, in the end.
Absolutely. So Papa, tell us a little bit about yourself. How you got started in streaming, who got you started, some of your inspirations. Tell us about what brought you to where you are now.
So what originally got me into streaming to do it was McNubbin, because he's like, you're funny, you like to play video games, so you should stream. And I was like, meh, not really feeling it, whatever. And then he gave me a lot of stuff to get started, because he was upgrading his stuff. So he's like, here, I have, an extra tower. And so I did. And then as I was streaming, he's like, bro, you need to join the tacos. And I was like, what's that? He goes, it's a Discord thing. It's a society, and we, they boost each other up, and I think you would benefit from it. And I was like, okay. So I finally joined the tacos. And then I went kind of MIA for a little bit because I switched jobs and I was working like 90 hours a week. But I had no family time. So I ended up switching jobs again and I picked up streaming again and really got into it. And honestly, I couldn't have gotten to where I am without McNubbin, without you, there's so many others that I've met through the tacos, Hustle Dice, Hawk. And I just really felt that it became more than just a group of people for me. It became like family. And then I got a ton of advice from the start, a lot from you, a lot from McNubbin. And for some of you that don't know, I used to rock like a whole wolf thing. And then Rude was like, look at your name. You were like, look at your name. Nobody thinks of wolves, they think of pumpkins. So then the pumpkin patch was born. And I ran with it and I love it. And that's all there is to it. I mean,
Uh, Absolutely. I think I mean, everybody definitely has been bestowed and known the name of Papa Pumpkin. You have not a pun, but your patch is growing and growing every single day.
mm,
You know, I always see a new pumpkin every now and then. Um, so I'm really, really excited because I got to see you literally start out from the beginning. Like I really
mhm,
did, and it makes me excited because, and I go back and forth with McNubbins all the time. That McNubbins is like he tells me stories. He's like Papa's like, hey, I'm gonna stream and McNubbins was like, you know, maybe you should hold off for a minute. And you're like, no, I'm going to do this. And you did it and you
yeah,
ran with it, man. And you were dedicated. I mean, you were doing stream after stream. You would never miss a schedule. You were always talking to not only the Taco Society, the Pumpkin Patch, like everybody. Seriously, you literally ran with it. And, you know, you mained Fortnite for quite a long time. And
yes.
then I see you dabbling into different games every so often.
Mhm.
Um, what kind of experience is that? I mean, as far as in terms of going from either one game to another, have you seen any difference as far as the people that come and synergize with you? Are you meeting new people doing that?
Mm.
Can you talk about anything like that?
Yeah. So, perfect example. I like to stream with my boys now. They can't be seen on camera, but they at least play the games. So they were playing TMNT Shredder's Revenge, and I met a couple new people just because they like TMNT. Um, and it's really cool to just kind of sit back and let the boys play, and I'll join in every once in a while. But one thing that I had to do was, so like when you play a battle royale game, you you talk more, right? Because when you're up against somebody, um, you talk a lot of smack, and
Sure.
that's part of the camaraderie of battle royales, and it's more engaging for people. But when I swapped into playing a playthrough of The Darkness 2, I realized because I was playing against an NPC that I wasn't really as energetic. So I had to fix that. And McDubbin was like, "Look, all you got to do play a single player game, record it, and watch, and see where you can improve." So it's always a learning curve. I'm always learning something new, always implementing something new, and I get a lot of ideas from yourself, from McNubbin, from Hawk, uh, from Mama. Mama's a really big influence on the stream. I couldn't do it without her. Um,
Yo, Mama is by far seriously on another level in this world.
she is.
Honestly, she really is. Honestly, I've had a lot of mods here and there come and go, but I've never had a mod be as communicative as her. She
Mhm,
hears my frustrations when I mean, I've literally called Mama and just blah 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 blah. So,
mhm,
um, Mama is on a whole nother level, and I tell
mhm,
you what, man, she thinks so highly of you all the time. Like all the time, she gives me updates and info about what's going on in Papa Pumpkin's life. So,
mhm.
shout out to Mama Pumpkin. You guys don't know who she is, get to know her. And she is on the verge of well, you know what? I'll let you talk about it. Talk about how
Yeah,
this challenge happened, where she is. We may see her soon.
yeah. So I've been back and forth with her since I've started streaming that she should do it. Um, and she's like, no, I don't mind modding. It's not my thing. I was like, okay. And then I kept pushing, and she's like, you know what? When I get 75 followers, I'll do it. And she lives and breathes the tacos. She's always there, always posting. She's always networking, always getting to know new people. And she looked at her phone and she's like, crap, I'm at 66 already. So then McNubbin and I started blasting it everywhere. And she hit 75, and then she's like, now I have to stream. So I've been working on getting her some stuff and getting it set up for her. And I don't know when she's going to have her big reveal yet, but I know she is going to start streaming on her own, and she'll have her own thing going. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Papa, I got a question here. I'm gonna do a couple of my questions, and then we're gonna start taking
okay,
questions from the Discord here. My question
okay.
is what is the future look like for Papa Pumpkin Pie? Where are we going here in this content creation
Mm.
spectrum?
So my goal shifted. So when I first started to stream, I think like a lot of us, right? So when I first started, I was like, I want to be like Nick Merckx. I want to be big like Shroud and Doc, but it's shifted. And it's mostly because of you. Um, my new goal, I don't care how many people, I don't care if I get famous, but because of you, my goal is shifted to if I can make one person laugh, one person that's having a bad day smile, even for that brief second, I feel like that's my goal. So it doesn't matter to me how big I get. Um, I just want to make somebody smile and somebody feel like they're worth something. You know what I mean?
That's yeah, awesome. My next question to add on to that for your future, do you have any future projects coming up? Anything different you want to do? Anything new?
Mm, I don't, not yet. I mean, I'm just vibing, playing games, and I know that I'm just going to keep doing it until I'm not here anymore.
Mm,
Because
nice.
eventually, at some point, like for us, this is a little different because our kids will be able to see, you know, dad or mom and see what we did, and maybe they'll pick up the mantle of the pumpkin patch. Who knows?
That'd be awesome. Now the question is, I know you've got a little tiny army of pumpkins over there. How are you going to decide who takes on the king pumpkin? Who takes the mantle?
I'll leave it up to them.
You're not
See who
gonna.
wants to do it. I'll
You're not
just
gonna.
throw it out in the middle and be like, fight to the death.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Something like that. That's awesome. We're gonna dive into a couple questions here in the Discord.
Okay.
Froggy play fairly. He's been around a little while here in Talk Society.
Mhm.
His question is can you be his papa? He wants to know if you can be his papa.
I can be anybody's papa, right? That's part of my name, and my Discord, my DMs are open whenever you need me. So if you need somebody to cry on, or if you need somebody to vent to, I'm always here. I've gotten
Absolutely.
pretty good at being a papa.
Absolutely. Question here by Frenchie here. What is your
Hmm.
funny story your family tells about you that you'd like to share? Frenchie's really hard
Okay.
about
Okay.
putting some really
Okay.
feelers out there.
So this was when Papa was just a little seedling. Okay. And my mother shares it whenever she gets a chance. So when Papa was potty trained, okay, I thought my clothes were dirty, so I would change. So when I went to school, when like my first time in school, I'll tell the PUBG story too. So I'll tell two. Um, I went to the bathroom. I told my teacher I had to go, so I went, and then the clothes were dirty, so I walked through the halls of Carter Lake Elementary School naked. Um, and then they called my mother, and that was great. But the more recent one that McNubbin reminded me of. So back in the day, Rude, McNubbin and I played PUBG every day, 4 hours a day, and it's when it first came to console. So like we would get stuck in like in the roof, right? And our feet would be on one side and our head would be on the other.
Sure.
I don't know if you remember those days.
Yeah.
But we were pretty good at it. And we were in a top 10 situation. We ended up getting a win, but I had to go to the bathroom. like as soon as we were halfway to this victory, and we clutched the victory, but I could not clutch it, and I just all over. And back then McNubbin lived with us because he was in between the apartment in Council Bluffs and trying to get one here in Bellevue. And I was like, "Oh, it's so bad! I got it out of the shower curtain. Mom's gonna kill me." But it was worth it because we got the chicken dinner.
Basically, very nice, very nice. Next question here by Frenchie is: tell me 3 most influential people in your life and how they've impacted you.
Okay, so obviously Mama Pumpkin, right?
Sure.
Without her, I wouldn't be able to stream. At first, when I
She-
was gaming and not streaming,
She better be number 1. She better be number 1.
yeah, always she's up there. I don't want her to come down here.
Yeah.
But at first she didn't realize, like when I was really big into gaming and not so much streaming, that it was a way for me to vent and to escape, you know. But once she accepted it and she's like, okay, she let me do my thing. And she's, like you said, she's a fantastic mod. She does great things. Second one would be my dad. He's no longer with us, but he kind of formed me into the man I am today. He really taught me what it means to unconditionally love someone, even though they're not biologically your child, which is, what Mama and I are doing now.
Sure.
And then the third would be just the tacos in general, honestly. Every taco. Meeting them, especially yourself. I could name so many names. Cram 970, yourself, Heartless Slayer, McNubbin. Just watching your guys' streams have really made it to where I can be a better version of myself. Because when I first started streaming, there was I'm not going to name names or anything, but there was a gentleman that I felt like, I helped and then kind of distanced themselves and then came back. But instead of being anger or harboring hatred, I just kind of said, you know what? We're just going to do our thing and we're going to support whoever we can type deal. So that's kind of my mindset there.
Absolutely. Very, very good. Very good. Yeah. And to tack onto that, yeah, there's tons of amazing people in the taco society that you can definitely be influenced by, looked up on. I mean, you're right on. Going into Frenchie's final question here. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? You could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
If I could look anywhere with Mama, like for me, it doesn't matter. Anywhere Mama decides to go, it's like she's my home and the kids. So, but I do like the cold, so I wouldn't mind living in like Colorado. Like
Okay,
Denver.
Colorado.
But she would hate it.
Yeah, right on. Very cool. Yeah, anywhere. I mean, anywhere. That's the thing about when you're with someone you truly love. It doesn't matter where you are. Like, as long as you're with that person, you could be in the worst freaking environment, cold, wherever, but as long as you got each other, you feel like you have the whole world, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So, I really respect that answer. This question comes from Rogue Phoenix Gaming. If you could take a trip anywhere in the world, where would you go? Which he pretty much,
Trip.
yeah, any trip now, not anywhere, just a trip.
Honestly, I would go back. It was back when I was working McDonald's, so probably right around when I started streaming. Mama and I went to Florida and we went to Disney World and we took the kids and they had a blast. But I would go back to Florida, but leave out Disney World and kind of go, because my best memory from Florida was going to the beach. And we got there during the evening, so the sunset, and it was such a beautiful experience, and I would like to go back to Florida because it was pretty awesome.
I've
And I
never
got to
been
see
to
gators.
I've never been to Florida. I know we recently had a taco that just moved there. I know she's been talking about it. She's been loving it. Talking about the beach. What specifically about Florida that you just absolutely love? Like, what is it?
It's the ocean because so like it was that trip was a lot of firsts for me. So Papa's never been on a plane, like a passenger plane, so that was great. Um, and I've never seen the ocean. And Mama was like, it's a smell that you'll never forget, but you'll never be able to explain it. And
I've never seen the ocean either.
it is a blast. The kids were like, "Oh, we just want to play in the sand," until they saw the water, and then we couldn't keep them out of it. Um, but it was just so beautiful, and it's like here it gets really humid, really quick, like the humidity. But in Florida, it's more of a dry heat, I think.
Got you.
Um, but just seeing my kids happy and having fun, it's just amazing, and I would love to do that again. Anything that makes my kids happy.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. I want to go see the ocean. I've never seen the ocean before. I'm hoping one day I'll make it out there. I've pretty much been in the Midwest region, and the furthest south I've been is like North Texas. So
Hmm,
I'm pretty jealous. Uh, this question comes from who you're very familiar with, Miss Wild One Double XL, as we call her.
nice.
What's your biggest impact overall with streaming?
My, I, hmm. I think my biggest impact, I think, is we're gonna do a little plug in here, but it's for ALSF. Um, Wild really put something in me that I couldn't explain. So at first I was just streaming for my own, using the payout to get like merch and giveaways and stuff, and sometimes for bills if needed. Um, but then you said, "Hey, we should do a 24-hour stream for Wild." She the Alex Lemonade Stand Foundation, and I said okay, and what we raised was phenomenal. And then I did on my own. I did a subathon for Alex's Lemonade Stand, and Wild really put that put that want to help um, a child in need like in my heart and in my soul. And I was sitting here streaming, and that's when I announced that everything now will go straight to ALSF. Um,
That's
or I think I said
awesome.
that backwards. But I think that's what I want to leave behind. That's my biggest impact I feel, especially in the future. So
To plug Wild a little bit more, that girl is absolutely an inspiration to everybody on what she does and what she stands for. Not only
absolutely.
that, sometimes when I go through some hard times, such as you reach out to me, Mama reach out to me, Wild's one of them that also reaches out to me, and I really do appreciate her. Not to mention, she also is kind of the one that is that little sister that just kicks you in the butt, and she's like, "You got to do this," So she got me posting on Twitter
Absolutely.
every single day. Big shout out to Wild. She's such just a ball of fire to be around, and we wouldn't take her any other way. Like I wouldn't take her
Right.
any other way. Um, this question, I'm really intrigued about this question,
Okay.
because I know you're really laid back and you're pretty much up for everything. So this question comes from Lady D Archie. She says, "What one game will you never play and why?"
What game will I never play and why?
Yeah.
Um, that's a tough one. Because I kind of it depends on who I'm playing with, right? So back, I would play Call of Duty with McNubbin, but I will never play it on my own. Just because it's not a game that I'm really into.
Got you. Yeah, I mean,
I
he's
don't know,
good.
like the cooking with friends, I've never touched, um, just because it's not my thing.
What about
Um,
scary horror games? Would you play any of those?
I mean, if you wanted to see me scream like a girl, I mean, sure. I mean, if people
Okay.
want to see that, see Papa just
That
then
would be hilarious.
yeah. But I I'm really big in like the supernatural, so like the whole ghosts and demonic entities and stuff. Like I believe in that. So when Mama got me to watch a movie like the Annabelle series,
Uh-huh.
almost PUBG incident all over again.
Oh man.
Um,
So my question is have you had an experience? Have you had a paranormal experience then if you believe in all this? Because I don't believe in any of it. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in none of that. So have you had an experience and can you convince me that this is legit and real?
so when I was younger, we were walking. My mom had a Chevelle back then. We lived in an apartment in Council Bluffs, and my brother was to the left of her. She was in the middle, and I was to the right. There was nobody around us, but when we were walking, a black like a shadow hand just like went right in front of my face like this, but it
Okay.
was nobody. Um, and then like late at night in the prison I work at, like the prison I work at's haunted, some of them, and
Wait, what do you mean haunted?
like the prison I work at. So everybody there says it's haunted. Like there's a certain like because and it's the prison I work at is where they would carry out the death penalty.
Okay.
And so I was walking past one of the shops, and there was like a figure in the window, but the shop has been cleared and secure for like 4 hours. But I saw a shape of a person, and I was like, and so I told somebody about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's haunted." But it could
Just-
be it could be something like a reason behind it. But I I can't fight ghostesses. Like I don't do that. Like I
I'm
love
not,
my family, but if there's a ghostesses, I'm out. Like we're moving.
I love how it leads to dark shadowy figure to something happened to yep, it's haunted. I'm not gonna go check it out. It's just haunted. It's already dubbed haunted. Like
Yeah, yeah. I'm
like
like,
what do they
I'm not
call that? What do they call that uh where they do the EMP, right? Isn't it an EMP where they do the
something like that. Yeah,
yeah, the EMP, like if Papa Pumpkin's little go dee 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 dee, it's haunted. It's haunted. I don't care.
yep.
Oh,
If I get it, yeah.
that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Um, we got a kind of a weird question by Muddy Dog here. He says, "What is the airspeed velocity of unlitten swallow?" I have no idea what he's talking about. Do you? Can you
So
make
he's
really?
talking about yeah. So he's talking about there was a movie that a really early movie called Monty Python's Holy Grail,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah, I don't
there's
like
a
that
point
movie.
in it. Yeah, there's a point in it where to order to cross the bridge, you have to answer a question. And this guy would ask a question, and if they answered it wrong, they basically get launched up in the air, you know. And so he asked that question to King Arthur, and King Arthur replies, "Is it an African or a European swallow?" And then the question guy asked, "I don't know," and then he gets launched and dies. So it just
Okay,
depends on the swallow.
it depends on the swallow, I guess. Interesting, interesting. Um, moving into goes by goddamn it Alm, but Alm's questions here. He's got a couple
Okay.
here for you. The first one is besides gaming, do you have any other hobbies?
Um, just chilling with my family, honestly. So I work, stream, chill with the family. Like to watch series with Mama Pumpkin. So we watched Yellowstone.
Oh, is
We
that
were
good? I haven't
watching The
seen
Good
any
Doctor.
of it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Is it
It's amazing. Kevin Costner was great.
right on? Right on.
Um,
Well, I do know you have some other hobbies. Like I know you're into superheroes.
oh
You're
yeah, sure.
big.
So I'm big into Superman. I got I'm big into Elvis Presley. Um, obviously it's Superman for my favorite hero. I do have a little collection of Funko Pops behind me. Um, I
Mm-hmm.
own every Superman movie ever made.
And you have all the
Um,
Smallvilles too, right?
yep, I have the whole series of Smallville. Is actually right. You can see Tom Zwilling head right over. Well, you can, but they can't. But
Yeah.
yeah, I owe the complete set to Smallville. Mama got that for me
I've watched a little bit of
a few years
Smallville.
ago.
I've watched a little bit of Smallville. And there's a great debate on Smallville here. If nobody knows Smallville, what Smallville is, um, it's a kind of a younger version of when Clark Kent, aka Superman, was in his teen years, more or less, at high school years. But there's always this debate on who really is the best Lex Luthor. And honestly, I think Michael Rosenbaum is the best Lex Luthor I've ever seen in my entire life. What are your thoughts?
I think out of all the Lex Luthors, he did the best in Smallville. He had the mantle for Lex Luthor longer than anybody else because Smallville went for 10 years. It started when I was in 5th grade. And um, Tom Welling also holds that for Clark Kent / Superman. We don't really
Absolutely.
get to see him as Superman until the last episode of season 10, but they did the best, and you couldn't ask for a better Lionel either. John something. What is his last name? Goodman, I think. But
Yeah.
the cast that they picked was just amazing. I couldn't ask for a
Yeah.
better cast to play
I mean,
the heroes and the villains.
if you go back and watch it now, it's gonna look really cheesy for the CGI. But back then, like when that was hot off the press, I think I remember I want to say like, yeah, I think I was about 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, maybe. And it was hot. I mean, it was
Oh
everywhere.
yeah.
It was on. Does anybody even remember Reader's Digest? Like that was all over the magazines.
Oh yeah.
And I remember watching the first couple episodes and I kind of got into it and then I fell off because, wanted to play outside or whatever. But
Absolutely.
yeah, great show. I enjoyed every bit. And I don't even like Superman. I don't even like Superman, but that show is phenomenal.
Hmm.
But goddamn it, Alms, next question. You said what made you start streaming? So I think you kind of touched on it at the beginning, but
Hmm.
was it, I guess we'll elaborate. McNubbins helped you kind of start streaming. What
Yep.
made you like what put the idea in your head like I can do this? Like who like was it just did he help you or did you have any reason?
So I really was just kind of like juggling it, like if I wanted to do it or not. He was definitely a driving force. And I remember talking to it about Mama, and she's like, "I support you 100%. I feel like you can do whatever you set your mind to." And so I kind of had to find, and it didn't happen all at once when I first started streaming, but I kind of had to find my identity, like who am I when I'm behind the camera. Um, and it's a mix of a bunch of things. But one thing that always sticks with me is that so Gabriel Iglesias is like there's a level of fat. So I always talk to myself as fluffy, right? So I'm just like a little fluffy normal guy that wants to make people smile.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Her next question is what do you wish more people knew about you? Which I know this is another tough one for you because of the fact that I really see a lot of selflessness in you. Like you are not self-centered, you know? Unless you got a couple drinks in you. I mean, you are kind of all over the place. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
anywho, what do you wish people would know about you? I mean, is there any deep dark
That
secrets that we need to know about?
no deep dark secrets, but um, as McNubbin would say, I'm honest to the point where it's too honest, like TMI moments. So I don't really hide anything. Um, that could be a flaw or a weakness. So, um, but one thing that um, I want people to know about me is that the weird that you guys see on stream with me, Mama has to live with every day. I don't really change when the camera comes on. So all the weird things that I've said in stream, all the like, it's kind of TMI pumpkin, but I do that with Mama all the time, and she can vouch for that. Like I'm weird off and on camera. So what you guys see, Mama has to deal with for she has had to deal with for the past 15 years or so. So
Okay.
and she's still
Uh,
here.
we'll get back to a couple of Om's questions. I kind of had a couple that just popped in my head as I was thinking. One of them is, how do you feel when someone makes an impact to you while you're streaming or you're doing your content? Like, like and I guess what I'm saying is like, I've seen you grow so much. So I've seen you
Mhm.
get rated and not even be able to talk. Can you explain or express that moment in time? You don't have to say who rated you or anything, but I'm just curious. I just want you to express that feeling,
so so that clip is actually going that I put that clip in here. Um but it doesn't happen like when I get rated, it doesn't matter who rates me, right? So like when you rated me for the first time, um and it happens when anybody that I look up to rates me. So like you, McNubbin, Hustle Dice, um I think Jesus Pals has rated me before, and it's just so overwhelming. Like I get like this overwhelming vibe because I respect those people so much, and they could have rated anybody, but they picked me, and it'll never stop. Like I always will lose track of whatever's going on up here, and I won't be able to play the game. Um, and I never want to lose that because I feel like a lot of the really big people, because like I was watching Nick Merckx the other day. McNubbin was like, yeah, he's a pretty cool dude, but I don't want to get to where I'm numb to it. Um, because like if you know, like I get excited when somebody follows me. Like
Mhm.
and I don't want to get to where I make people feel like they don't matter, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, anybody that either comes, glances at you, likes something on your social media, follows you, that's another opportunity to connect with somebody and really,
Yeah.
really could be the next person that's your ride or die, you know? I mean, not saying taking Mama Pumpkin's place in any way. I'm just saying that like that's your next brother or sister, you know? So I
Right.
completely understand where you're coming from as far as, it's exciting, you know? Okay, now
Absolutely.
two parts to that question. How do you feel when you make an impact on another streamer? Like, so for instance, I know you helped with a couple quad raids back in the day, and you would see people freak out and just like, oh my god, almost lose everything, their consciousness on what's going on.
Mhm.
How does that make you feel? Like, describe that feeling.
It makes me feel joy. Like I love that, I've gotten to the point where I can make an impact on somebody else. And it doesn't even so like with the quad raids, I love the that like I love it. Like I wish we did that more often. Just because, we've always picked somebody that's up and coming, and just to see them freak out and lose their momentum is just so wholesome because I do it too. And um sometimes when people um when I pop into somebody's stream and they're like, oh my god, it's Pop Up Lumpkin, you're such a legend. I'm like, no, no. Because I don't view myself like that. Um because mostly because like just watching you and watching a lot of the really big tacos, um you guys have always shown humbleness, and that's really what I want to do is be selfless and humble. I don't want people to feel that I'm too good for somebody.
Absolutely, absolutely. Moving back into God damn it, Alms question. She says, has there been any movie that has influenced you the most in any stage of your life?
Yes. It's not really a movie, it's more of a series, but it's called This Is Us, if you guys have never seen it.
Oh,
Um, it's about two parents are supposed to have triplets, and one of them doesn't make it, and then they adopted a boy. And it, mom and I watched the series, and it really put into my head like one of the scenes is where their house catches on fire, and the dad is holding a mattress, burns the crap out of his hands, but he's protecting his family, and it really, really put it into my mind that would I do this for mine? Like, would I put myself at harm to keep my family safe? And the answer is yes. Um, I mean, that's one of them. Um, but it's just, so for me, it's just like, what would what would you do for your family? And the answer to that question is there's nothing I wouldn't do for my family.
and
So
that's very honorable, and that's very understandable. I've not seen This Is Us, but I've seen previews, I've seen commercials, and it was really big. And it always seemed like from the social media that I seen that show always had a good message. So I could really see that putting an impact, especially if it's family oriented, like you said.
yeah,
Last question here by Goddamn It Alm. What advice would you give your younger self if you given the opportunity to travel back into a specific moment in your past?
that actually kind of leads into kind of. So I had a lot of friends back in Council Bluffs, and one of them um, kind of, we all through elementary school we were friends. We became best friends. Um, I moved out to Omaha, and we stayed in touch. And then somewhere along the road, he just kind of cut me out, and we don't talk anymore. And years later, my dad um, knew that I was upset. And I talked to him. I was like, I don't know why this is going on. And my dad gave me some advice. He's just like, look, and I would give myself that advice when that happened so that I didn't have the heartache. But sometimes when we grow, when we shoot for the stars, some people will fall off. Um, and they're just not to be in your life because they don't go, they're not going where you're going. And um sometimes it happens. I mean, it could be family, it could be friends, it doesn't matter. But um where we're going is up to us. That we shouldn't be held down by negativity or somebody um that kind of ghosts us, I guess. So I would tell myself that.
Very cool, very cool. So that's it from the questions that I have from the Taco Society, but I have a couple more questions here for you.
Okay.
Some just kind of random ones. Who have you met anybody or have autographs by anybody famous that you truly like enjoy to be around, or meeting somebody, cons, autographs, going to sporting events, anybody at all you met?
Nobody. I didn't get an autograph, but back when I worked at the casino, um, I was JB's cafe supervisor, and Booker T came in. I should have got an autograph from him, but I was too starstruck because he was one of my favorite wrestlers when I was a kid. And I actually gave him his food for free. Because like, oh my god, you're Booker T. Like, he's like, yeah, and he's really big. Like, I didn't know he was that big, like in real life, but he's a big man.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. I've met Booker T as well. Actually, coincidentally at the casino as well while I was working there. I actually got to walk right by him. Um, and it was funny because he was in town for a con, and I actually told him that I seen him last night at the casino. So like it was funny. Like he was there the night before the con, and then I got to talk to him. All right. So then
Mhm.
this leads to my next question. Out of any famous person in the world, living or dead, who would you want to see or meet?
So I two answers. So living, I would love to see Tom Welling. and get him to sign that coat because he wore that in season 9. But that's no longer with us. I would love to see Elvis Presley
Okay.
live.
Okay. And if you were to meet Elvis Presley, what would be one question you'd ask him?
What his inspiration was to get started in rock and roll.
Okay. Um, Speaking of Elvis Presley, did you watch the newest movie of him? What'd you think of that? If you did, I'm sure you watched it.
I I have not seen it yet. Mom
Oh,
and I really
really?
don't go to the movies anymore. Yeah, so we don't go
Okay.
to the movies. I'm waiting for it to drop on DVD so I can buy it. But I
Okay.
do own like his actual movies that he played in. I own all of them.
Okay.
And I do own some of the other ones. Like there was one directed by his younger stepbrother that was his bodyguard. So I have that and I've seen that. But the one with Tom Hanks, I'm excited to see.
Okay. And if you were to meet these famous people, do you think you would be fangirl like, oh my god, or would you
Definitely,
be
without a doubt.
kosher? Okay. 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 That's funny.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's
I'll
funny.
probably be like, my name's Papa.
So, I got just a few more questions, and then I'll let you
Okay.
take the floor. Um, One more question here. What is one question you could ask anybody, anytime, anywhere, living or dead? If you could just ask this question one more time, the one individual in your life, out of your life, what would it be, and who?
So it would be my dad. Because ever since he's passed, I've always wondered in the back of my head, is the way I'm leading my life making him proud? So I would ask him if he's proud of me for sure.
Got you. Got you. Um, and then let's see. That was pretty much my biggest question. The last question that I have for you is if you could tell anybody, up and coming streamers, content creators, anybody in the tacos, anybody in the pumpkin patch, anybody you want, if you could leave them with one piece of advice today, what would it be?
It would be don't give up on your dreams, right? They your dreams will not chase you. You have to chase your dreams, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. So if you have your heart set on streaming, if you have your heart set on owning your own business, do it. Don't listen to haters. You be the best version of yourself, and haters are gonna hate.
Absolutely. All right, Pop Pumpkin, I am out of questions. The tacos are out of questions. Is there anything you want to plug or say or anything at all before we end the show today?
Um, I think we've already covered the whole mama thing. I know she's gonna start streaming soon. We're in the works on that. Um, but the sky's the limit, guys. I mean, we're tacos for life, and we're gonna do the best we can, and just be your wholesome selves. Don't change for anybody. Just be you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, I want a big shout out to you, Papa Pumpkin, for taking the time and coming on the show. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do. I know you promote the Taco Society all the time in your streams. I'm in your streams all the time. Um, you live and bleed and breathe tacos along with the pumpkin patch. Guys, if you don't know Papa Pumpkin, please go check him out. He plays Fortnite. He plays games with his kids now that he's been playing. Honestly, it would change your life for to be infected with this man's positivity. So anything else you have to say there, Papa?
I don't.
Okay. With that being said, that is going to be the end of Let's Talk About It, episode 1. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Um, Papa, go ahead and choose who we're going to send all these lovely people here since you are the guest of honor.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about positivity, I think one person that Mama really got me into, his name's Matty Pace. That
Okay.
man is just nothing but positivity. And if we're gonna send this off, I think that we're gonna send it off to Matty Pace, just so you guys can get all the positivity you deserve.
Awesome. Guys, we love you. Thank you for tuning in. Papa, again, thank you so much for coming in, dude. I hope you had a good
It was a
time.
pleasure.
And
It was
I
great.
appreciate it. Guys, love you all. Peace out.
Take it easy, guys.